Weird science
is the revolution.
Shazam, number 7, written by Mark Waid with art by Goran Sudzuka, Ive Savorsina, and Troy Pateri. And it's such a shame.
Oh, wait, I didn't hear those. What were those again?
Oh, I'm sorry. That was Goran Sudzuka and Ive Savorsina.
Oh, Savorsina. Okay.
Savorsina and Troy Pateri, which for some reason I wrote Tori Pateri.
Tori. You might go Tori. Tell me how much you like this thing.
Look. You have a lot of big things going on in this issue outside of bureaucratic T-Rex spacemen coming down, where you have the idea of a cold open that shows up with a bizarro Captain Marvel, and you have Black Adam show up as well. So you have some big things going on in this book, and it's such a shame that you don't have Dan Mora doing any of it, because while the art is fine in this book, it is such a downgrade to your senses, to your eyes, when you get to a book that you expect to look a certain way, and it's just not the peak, because in my mind as well, the book wants to be more fun than telling a good story overall. And I know I'm in a minority here about that whole thing, but it just doesn't even feel clever anymore. Even the idea of you wanting to have fun, because when you have a bizarro Captain Marvel show up who's just called Bizarro Captain and not Shazarro, which it should have been because it feels a lot better in a mouthfeel, it just is very disappointing. And especially when you have the idea where Billy Batson's like, all right, look, he's the Bizarro Captain Marvel, all right? Obviously, they're not saying Marvel because we don't do that anymore, but he's the Bizarro Captain. So I got to get him to say Shazam. He gets him to say Shazam. Oh, wait, that doesn't work because he's the Bizarro Captain. So I got to get him to say Mazaz, Shazam backwards. Shit, that didn't work either. What am I going to do now? Well, even though we're just having this gigantic fight where he has all the powers that I do, I just have to tell him he doesn't have these powers that I have because he's Bizarro, and that for some reason works. And also, I guess Felix Faust is robbing a bank, brought a Bizarro Captain here, and I just take Felix Faust away with no fuss, no muss, no finding out anything about something as fun and something that could be as cool as a Bizarro Captain Marvel. And plus the Bizarro speech killed me.
And I think that this is not just you not like having fun, but maybe if people ended up, and it's a weird play. I told you before you read
Shazarro.
I said to you, like, it's a weird feel, this book. Like, you have things going on. I'm not going to tell you that Bureaucratic Dinosaurs is the hard-hitting story, but you did have a story where Billy had to kind of fight back at the gods, and hey, we got to reestablish the champions. Yeah. So, and you do mention at one point, yeah. So when you go into this, though, kind of feels like not a restart, but a like, hey, everybody, here's where the fun book is. Come over here, including having, editor's notes about the...
Oh, the editor's notes are acting like nobody's ever read this shit before.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's weird about this. And I'm sure that every book, if you come down to the nitty gritty, that DC wants every book to sell better. They would want every book to go better. But is there this weird play? And I don't know, because, again, me and you are not involved in any sort of comic book fighting except amongst me and you. We like to fight each other. But there was that deal of Mark Waid stepping up, and he's yelling, everybody else is yelling. And so there's these sides. Is this the weird play that they think because of that, some people are going to rally behind Mark Waid and get the book and they want to catch him? I don't know, because it's a weird play. Not much has happened. And then suddenly this feels like they want it to be a jumping on point. And it really isn't. It's a wacky thing. I don't get it.
Like, it's kind of the beginning of a new arc, but it also feels like the conclusion to a degree of the space dinosaur stuff.
Yeah, and so you have this whole thing going on, and like, I don't know, and I'm with you. I was enjoying this more as a fun kind of little aside.
I just need more than fun when it comes to Captain Marvel / Shazam.
I was going to say, for a lot of people who sit there and get mad at me, say, for not loving Nightwing. Well, I say all the time, I'm a big Nightwing fan. I need more than fan service telling me that Nightwing's a great guy. I know that. He's my favorite character.
Issue, just like every couple issues to say, hey, look, this is from Nightwing's POV, or this is just from this POV.
So if you're not a big fan of that character, you may enjoy this. You might, oh man, I never did enjoy a Nightwing book before. This is cool. You love Shazam. We don't really mention a lot of times like your favorite characters, but Shazam is up there. One of your favorite characters. So you want more care, but not even care, but you want more substance, especially with a character that's gone through the ringer in the last bunch of years. And you want things to be settled.
Actually, since Flashpoint.
Well, that's a long time. So you want some rules to be set. You want to go. And Mark Waid is just goofing off. But I'll tell you, I was enjoying. It's getting too much now. We're at a point where even I'm starting to think, come on now.
Well, even when you have a threat of Black Adam taking on bureaucratic T-Rex, space dinosaurs. They shoot a missile at Kahndaq and it explodes into more paperwork to do. I'm like, you're done. This is no threat at all. This is nothing that we can even play along with anymore.
Black Adam says, what are they doing? Attacking me with paper cuts? He's in on the joke. and so I'll even go Felix Faust in it. It is funny because this happens to you more than anybody I know, where you really do like characters and you take them really seriously. And then they dispatch of a big villain so easily and as a joke that it
my
infuriates
stupid ass
you.
is thinking, because this week as well, we have that big preview to Action Comics coming up with, Jason Aaron's Bizarro story. And the idea of the magic and the smartest Bizarro that Bizarro's ever been at this point, using all of these freaking incantations and we don't fully understand from the preview pages here. But now you have a magical man like Felix Faust going around and pulling a Bizarro Shazam out of the Earth 3. And I'm like, is this connected? I want to know more about this. But you know what? Like most things, it doesn't matter.
No, and the problem, it's funny. It doesn't matter. What you get here, and it does, out of everything you could do, the week before you're going to start a new Action Comics deal with Jason Aaron with a Bizarro story. You have this, it's like Ants and Bugs Life coming out at the same time. It's so bizarre of that weird play there. I actually was waiting till the end to have it ooh, this was a really cool way. Even a Mark Waid saying, hey, welcome here, Jason. I'll set up the story a little. We'll go with that. And I'm like, nope, doesn't look like that at all.
Now, I will tell you this. For all my problems with something that feels so terrible with the idea to call this Bizarro Captain, okay?
See, you're centered on that.
The thing is, I hate it so much because there's so much more. But I'm telling you, Shazarro just rolls off the tongue so well. But the problem with that is Mark Waid has taken so much care to try to get away from calling Billy Batson Shazam and back to something along the lines of Captain Marvel, just the Captain. But if you start throwing things out there like Shazarro to bring that back to people's attentions, all the good work that you have been doing and trying to take that name away, I think that by calling him Bizarro Captain, you're just continuing the flow that you've already done in this book's run. So it's a double-edged sword for me because I can see where he's coming from. It's just not fun or good for the idea of Bizarro Captain.
I know people are going to end up like, oh man, this was so much fun. Why are you guys pish-poshing it? But I have talked to a bunch of people this week, and most of them have said that they've really been enjoying Shazam, but this is a down issue. And I do think a part of it is Dan Mora not being on art. The art's really good. It's not Dan Mora art, though.
It's okay art.
Even people are even talking about the idea of it's a shame that Black Adam shows up and Dan Mora's not drawing, but even Black Adam showing up, it's more of a joke. And you do get some plays here. We do get mentioned that we did want to see. We got what we wanted with the other dinosaur. He is dusting down in we actually said we wanted that, Eric, so we got that. But overall, it's all played for jokes. But then when Billy gets called back, he goes home. They're supposed to meet in the park, and they go. And
even the idea that they go home, right? And Billy flies his ass to Fawcett City. Are we just calling Fawcett City almost like a German town, like an area of Philadelphia? Because
Eric, it's Fish Town.
I'm saying, is it Germantown? Is it Fish Town? Is that what we're going for with elements of Philadelphia with Fawcett City now? Because Fawcett City previously was a neighborhood that had a community college where Mary went to community college during the new champion Shazam. I just need to know what we're doing. Because Fawcett City's fine because that's what I grew up with, of Captain Marvel being from Fawcett City. You move that shit to Philadelphia, get more interested because we're from the Philadelphia area, so I just want to know what this means.
Yeah, I think they just jump around, I don't know. They just play that game. They don't have a home. At the end of this, they may not.
But even the idea that you have this situation where Billy's been called away because all of his family have to get together because his foster parents have something to tell everybody. So they're going to get together. They have a great announcement. We have bought a mansion, essentially, is what they're telling me right here, because I'm looking at this house. It's the biggest house I've ever seen. And it's so crazy to me because, Rosa got some inheritance money, some money from relatives and stuff like that. And with the money that they are going to get from selling their old house, they're going to just be able to afford this.
Why wouldn't they get something smaller, right?
Something that you would have some kind of,
afford. Have something put away.
Please. Rose and I have been keeping it a secret because we didn't want to get everybody's hopes up. But her aunt left her a little money. I'm like, a little money. Oh, I'm telling you, I know what houses go for around here. This is a mansion. House. This is crazy. It is the biggest house I've ever freaking seen outside of a Wayne Manor.
You didn't see that editor's note? They have to stay in that haunted house over the weekend. If they could do it, it's theirs.
Honestly, that sounds like a 70s freaking, or even just a original Fawcett Comics Captain Marvel story right there.
This house, please get a townhouse and Yeah, it'd be nice to have the kids have their own bedrooms, but it'd also be nice to not lose everything and be destitute.
Because once the idea comes, once we're able to sell our house, we'll be able to afford this house and we can move in and stuff like that, which is a pain by numbers thing right now because we just said that we have to do this thing. And obviously the T-Rexes have come down, talked to Talkie Tawny, and they're right in front of the old house where Black Adam shows up and Captain Marvel and Black Adam, even though Billy is supposed to have more wisdom of Solomon than he's ever had before, his ass goes to Rex's foster parents' house right there, and until it's already it's completely destroyed before the Wisdom of Solomon kicks in and says, "Oh no, what have I done?"
Yeah. Do you think that those 4 dinosaurs are in trouble because they got the red shirts on there? You do end up seeing the Enterprise earlier as well, but that's just jokes, right?
It's just jokes.
You know me, I think Star Trek's a bunch of hooey.
Because you're an uncultured swine.
It's true. It is true. And that's not going to win me over, having the dinosaurs in their red shirts there with their phasers set on stun, whatever. And yeah, Billy jumps in front so Tony doesn't get obliterated. But even then, they just fight and then go, woe is me, we ruined the house.
That thing that was just set up is, oh no, I don't mind
that part. That part feels very Silver Age, Golden Age type deal. That's fun. But everything in this issue is just a joke, including, like you said, one of the worst is that they shot a bomb at Kondak, and it was a bomb filled with paperwork. And then at one point, you do even have, hey, where's our dinosaur guy? Oh, he's dusting down at the Rock of Eternity. Like, what's going on? Oh, well, he's going to face severe punishment. Oh, what, death? Oh, no, more paperwork. I'm like, really? Like, this paperwork joke has become such a, eye-rolling cringe nonsense now because that's all you got. And I don't need that anymore. The dinosaurs were fun, but now it's too much. This is I love, occasionally having some sweets there. But there are those things where you just start eating too much. What it reminds me of is coming up. Our kids, my kids, not ours.
Our kids, huh?
I don't think our kids.
They took me out of the group text, so I don't know.
Yeah, really. Our kids, they have birthdays all in a row and whatnot. And they all want, every year, we get ice cream cakes. We get 5, actually 6 because of Tanya. Yeah, the first one's great. I'm like, oh my God. And I even go with the idea, the first one, if we don't finish it, which sometimes does happen, not always, but if we don't, we'll make sure we put that in the freezer. Okay, we'll get.
Oh yeah, obviously.
Then the next one, because all our kids are almost all in a 3-week span. The next one comes, you're like, oh, okay. By the 5th one, which is Logan, nobody wants that fucking cake. You're like, oh God, but he wants his. And you're like, all right, and you're eating it. But when that's done, and there's always a lot left of that one, it goes right in the garbage, Eric, because nobody's going to eat because we already had 4 of them, 5 of them at points. That's what this is like. It feels like I've now eaten 4 or 5 ice cream cakes, and I'm getting it once again. I
got a bunch of cavities, and I'm fat now because all the sweetness I'm getting out of this book.
Exactly. So it's just you get to make it worse, you throw things that should really be big. Black Adam, Felix Faust, even. And
well, even Black Adam versus Captain Marvel, the first time in this book, and the first time in what feels like forever, honestly. And it's played up as a joke where it's Billy's like, I got to make sure this fight is taken away from him because obviously I'm a superhero. We can't have this going on around here. Until Black Adam tells him how weak he is because of his family. Don't you insult my family. And then we just bust down the house because the Wisdom of Solomon cannot take on the idea of insulting your family.
Can you blame it on the dinosaurs who then have to fill out paperwork for insurance? I don't know, Eric. It's just goofy by the end. If you're just here to have fun, you could still have fun with it. But if you're looking for something
I need more substance.
It's still a decent book. It's still one of the better books at DC of my mind.
Okay.
It just could be better. I mean, this
Agreed.
is where I say this could be so much better. What would you give this?
The book is fun for just being fun. The thing is, it's silly, goofy stuff. A lot of people can get behind that. I just need more substance to it. The art's okay. Not really great for a lot of things that we're dealing with this week. It's just, a fill-in artist. And there's some really cool stuff that's happening here. I love the idea of a Bizarro Captain Marvel. I love the idea of Black Adam versus Captain Marvel. I like all of these things. It's just not done in a very good way here.
Yeah. So what's your score?
Oh, I'm sorry. I said I gave it 6 out of 10, but I don't think I got to that point.
I'm going to give it a 6 as well. I realize that it's fun. So I can kind of push aside a couple other things, but it's at a point where I need something with more substance. Hey, all you weirdos, if you like comic book shows, podcasts, videos, please check the description of this video. where you can see links to all of our podcast shows, websites, all of that. And if you want to help us out for everything that we do, you can click on that Patreon link in the upper left-hand corner and check out our Patreon, where you can go right now and get a 7-day free trial to see all the stuff that we do, shows that are Marvel, DC, indie, manga, and even more. So check all that out, and I'll talk to you all later.
Weird science is the revolution.